My name is Davronbek Karimov, and my topic is global economic effect of COVID-19. So, in introduction part, I would like to say that since the outbreak of coronavirus disease of COVID-19, more than 1 million people have lost their lives due to the pandemic, and the global economy is expected to contract by a staggering 4.3% in 2020, and millions of jobs have already been lost, millions of livelihoods are at risk, and estimated additional 130 million people will be living in extreme poverty if the crisis persists. These are the grim features that are reflect the immense challenge and human suffering caused by this pandemic. Much uncertainty remains about how and when the pandemic will run its course, as the unprecedented economic shock generated by the global health emergency has already sharply exposed to the global economy's pre-existing weaknesses, severely setting back development progress around the world. So next slide, we will look at the picture expert declines in three major economies by industry. So if you see here, looking at the economies of China, United States of America, and the European Union, this figure shows that significant declines are evident in the automotive and chemicals industry. For textiles and office machinery, in particular to a lesser extent precision instruments and uh, communications equipment, China enjoyed a little bit growth. So this figure about global foreign direct investment inflow. The COVID-19 pandemic has had an immediate and negative impact on foreign direct investment in 2020. The outlook remains dire, with further deterioration projected in 2021. The exceptional global circumstances as a result of the pandemic led to delayed implementation of ongoing investment projects and the showing of new projects, as well as drying up of foreign affiliate late earnings, of which normally a significant share is reinvested in host countries. As a result, global foreign direct investment flows are forecast to decrease by up 40% in 2020 from their 2019 value of close to $1.6 trillion. This would bring foreign direct investment to below $1 trillion for the first time since 2005. Foreign direct investment is projected to decrease further in 2021 and only begin to recover in 2022 at the earliest. So next slide is reducing vulnerability to a food crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic could cause a food crisis in developing countries through both supply side and demand side channels. Restrictions on movement due to the pandemic have slowed down economic activity, potentially affecting food production and reducing food supply. Food export controls by major exporters, such as outright export bans and other measures, including export taxes, could exacerbate the supply shock already engendered by restrictions and lockdown measures. Some countries have used these measures to varying degrees, yet globally they have not been serious enough to substantially affect food supply in international markets. Another potential supply shock relates to logistical bottlenecks. Even where food is available, the distribution network may be affected by measures imposed to control the spread of the coronavirus, such as the closing of borders of transport links to urban centers. A reduction in the number of workers needed to ensure a smooth distribution of food could also occur. So There are two major reasons for the weak effect of the pandemic on international food markets. First, Kazakhstan is a major producer of wheat, maize, and soybeans. Three of the four crops supply more than 75% of international food markets. A highly mechanized and an eventual negative effect of the pandemic on labor productivity is not an issue. Second, in developing countries in which agriculture is highly labor intensive, the pandemic has been mostly prevalent in urban centers, leaving the farming sectors less. This could change depending on the extent to which the virus spreads to rural areas. Demand-side problems seem to be more important potential source of food insecurity in many developing countries. In particular, the loss of income resulting from restrictions on movement is likely to be a critical demand-side factor. At the microeconomic level, in areas in which food prices declined, some sections of the population were unable to afford food, as such restrictions led to a loss of income as people couldn't work. At the macroeconomic level, many countries that experienced a sharp decline in their export revenues because of the pandemic may have been affected if their food consumption was dependent on imports. This could have been an issue in low-income developing countries. So, next slide, I'll talk about schools responding to COVID-19, which is taken three case studies in crisis management by Anne. It's sometimes difficult to see the forest for the trees, especially in the midst of change and crisis. The COVID-19 pandemic has so thoroughly transformed school member needs, borders, and even everyday operations that it may be difficult to appreciate the full of our new reality. It's hard enough to see a few feet ahead, let alone step back and assess the entire forest. At the end, we'll know about what the trees and what the forest. So in this case, it's interviewed leaders from the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania, and schools care about their post-coronavirus experiences, challenges, and lessons learned. Among other topics, we discuss member relations and services, transitions, their post-staff teams, combat reinsurance and stop loss coverage, and even executive leadership succession in a time of upheaval. So, from case study, we took forest level takeaways, which means main points of the case study. First one is pool member entities will expect responsive delivery of services based upon their specific needs at any given time. As soon as the pandemic began, pools quickly report positive resources to deliver the kind of assistance their members need most. That degree of responsiveness and flexibility has proved incredibly valuable to the public entities they serve. In doing this, many pools have likely created new expectations for member services that will outlast COVID-19. For each new challenge public entities face, they will continue to look to pools for rapid response and risk mitigation planning. The second one is new pool governance models require a shift in mindset and in some cases by laws or other governing documents. Most pools, including three featured in this article, have focused and shortened their governing body meetings. Many others are using new methods to facilitate effective board conversations. In addition, the pandemic has forced pools to review how they make decisions that require membership-wide action. Some are considering deadline governance requirements for quorum. Others are considering options to implement electronic voting. So third one is a changed mindset about remote work will impact full operations beyond the pandemic. The move to remote operations happened more quickly and involuntarily than many pools anticipated. Yet, despite widespread Zoom fatigue, most acknowledge the pandemic has moved them significantly toward accepting remote operations on a more permanent basis. There are details to iron out regarding which pool employees will work remotely and how they will do so most effectively. But many pools have already started actively adopting remote work policies and practices that will outlast pandemic operations. So at the end, I would like to say I'm a journalist and also clarify what the trees and what the forest. As the COVID-19 pandemic and its implications continue to evolve, so too will our understanding of the shifting expectations of and pressures and pull on pools. We hope these three case studies will educate both immediate pool needs and response trees and the overall long-term ramifications forest of this transformative time in public invited pooling. So I think you understand what the responses of pool industries. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.